Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ariadna and today we return to the facts and to the history. But it's going to be different because I'm going to talk about countries that don't exist anymore. So it's going to be a mini series of 4 countries. So today's turn it's going to be the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So let's go. First of all, I will make a context so you understand a little bit better the facts. So, this empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, was created in 1867 and they had 2 separate administrations. So, Austria had one and Hungary had one. Well, in the first years of this empire, the countries that formed this empire were only Austria and Hungary. But then they added more countries that I will explain to you later. So this is how it started. But how it ended? Well, this empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, was an ally with the Germans. So at the end of the First World War, you know that they lost, right? So after that, there were national movements in the empire and it ended in the dissolution of this empire in 1918. So after the First World War ended. And now let's go to the most interesting things, to the facts. So let's start with number 1. So the Austro-Hungarian Empire had a particular political system. They had a monarch which controlled all the country, but this monarch was an emperor and a king at the same time. How? Well, it was the same person who controlled the territory, but in the west part of the empire was called emperor, and in the east part of the country it was called king. So this is how the monarch had 2 different names. Now let's move to the second one. The capital of the Austro-Hungarian Empire was Vienna, currently is the capital of Austria. And this empire had 2 official languages, German and Hungarian, obviously. Now let's move to the third one, which is related with the second fact. So the Austro-Hungarian Empire had 2 parliaments, one in Vienna and one in Budapest. And actually Budapest was the second largest city in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And Budapest currently is the capital of Hungary. Now let's move to the fourth fact. So the empire had a common currency. From 1867 when it was created till 1892 they had the florin, and till 1892 till 1918 they had the crown, the Hungarian crown. Now let's go to the fifth fact. It was the 6th economic and commercial power in the world. So in a rank, the Austro-Hungarian Empire was the number 6, which is actually pretty good because it was a large empire, because I haven't said which other countries formed part of it, but I will eventually tell you, and so you will see how big was Austria and Hungary, obviously, and how it could be possible that they were the 6th power in the world of economics and commercial. So now let's move to the 6th fact. It was impossible to be Austro-Hungarian at the same time. You would say, why? If it's one empire, if it's only one country, why you couldn't be? I don't know, but you couldn't. So if you were Austrian and you would like to visit your mother who was Hungarian, you had to have a passport so you could move from Austria to Hungary. And in the same way, so if you were from Hungary and you want to visit your mother who was Austrian, you had to have a passport so you could go to Austria. So it was quite strange, but I found it really interesting. So yeah. Now let's move to the seventh fact. And this one is that the Austro-Hungarian Empire was the second largest country in Europe, and it was just only after the Russian Empire. And it had the third most people, so they had more people than in other countries, and they were the third country in a rank. So it was after the Russian Empire and Germany. So yeah, they were really populated. Now let's go to the eighth fact, and here I explain to you the different languages and cultures that were apart from Austrian and Hungarian in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and you could see how large it was because these languages that I'm going to tell you, obviously the countries were involved, but you will see. So it has 10 different languages and cultures. So it has Austrians and Germans, Hungarians, Italians, Romanians, Czech, Poles, Serbs and Croats, Ukrainians, Slovaks, and Slovens. And you would say, how they have 10 different languages and cultures? Well, I told you before that it wasn't only Austria and Hungary who who were in this empire, but they also were the south part of Italy, Romanians, Czechs, Poles, Serbs, Croats, Ukrainians, Slovaks, and Slovens. So this is why the territory was huge, because they had the other countries. So now let's go to the fact number 9. So the official name in English was the kingdoms and lands represented in the Imperial Council and the lands of the Holy Hungarian Crown of Saint Stephen. Oh my goodness, it was hard, but it was this large in the original languages, so in German and in Hungarian. And now let's move to the 10th fact. Well, so I didn't find that interesting things for this last fact, but I have to say that this empire lasted for 51 years, so it's a lot. And I should say that as I was reading the history and the facts and all of that, I found really interesting that if one nation had to be right now together, I would choose them, even though they had lots of fights and they involved in wars. Actually, they managed to rule for 51 years, I mean. So it would be pretty cool if they return. It's not going to happen, I guess. And so yeah, there were my 10 facts for the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So if you like to see more or other countries, give me a like, subscribe down below, comment down below as well which fact did you like the most or did you find the most interesting. What else? Follow me on Instagram, share it with your friends, click that notification bell, ding ding ding, and I don't know if I have said all, but we'll see you next time. Bye!